The nominees for Best Performance by an Actor in a Leading Role are Jesse Eisenberg in The Social Network.
Would you like to talk about something else?
It's no easy task putting a label on Jesse Eisenberg, the Oscar nominee for Best Actor in The Social Network.
And Jesse, over here.
Leading man, screen idol, movie star. If none of those seem like a proper fit, then may we suggest reluctant celebrity.
I acknowledge this movie is regarded better than anything I've ever been in, but I feel like I've acted better in other things. It doesn't always feel like there's a direct correlation between like what you do and the efforts you put in and the reception that follows.
At the ripe old age of 27, Jesse Eisenberg has more than a dozen feature films under his belt, ranging from independent dramas like The Squid and the Whale.
You just bailed on Dad because he's not as successful as he used to be and hasn't gotten the recognition he deserves.
To the coming-of-age story, Adventureland.
Look, I know most people have low standards. I guess I'm different.
And the action comedy hit, Zombieland. Eisenberg has established himself as the sort of actor who commands the screen without commanding a lot of attention.
Nick? Uncle Roger. How's it going?
One of the great things about New York is you can be fairly anonymous.
I am anonymous.
And that's just fine with him. He's happy to have achieved so much, even if he's not so happy being scrutinized by our cameras.
It makes you feel like your image is being used in a way that you didn't expect it to be, or something you said is maybe being taken out of context. There's something very uncomfortable about that.
Fame.
I guess that's what it's normally referred to. Let the hacking begin.
But fame has been the inevitable result of his breakout performance as Facebook founder and world's youngest billionaire, Mark Zuckerberg.
Mr. Zuckerberg, do I have your full attention?
You have part of my attention. You have the minimum amount. The rest of my attention is back at the offices of Facebook, where my colleagues and I are doing things that no one in this room, including and especially your clients, are intellectually or creatively capable of doing.
A highly intelligent, quirky, and self-aware character.
Who are you?
Not surprisingly, those are the exact same terms you might also use to describe Jesse Eisenberg.
So somebody who felt lonely, whose kind of loneliness motivated them to stop producing an emotional connection to other people, almost, rejecting life before it rejected him. And I felt like I knew people like that. I felt in some ways I did that a little bit too.
Indeed, when Eisenberg recently hosted Saturday Night Live and met the real Mark Zuckerberg for the first time,
So,
it was hard to tell who felt less comfortable.
really liked you on 60 Minutes. And as I was leaving, he ran over to say goodbye to me and to say how much he liked doing the show. It was just so sweet and generous. I could imagine it must be really uncomfortable to have a movie made about your life, a movie that is showing things that are probably difficult to watch.
And I'll bet what you hated the most is that they identified me as a co-founder of Facebook.
Growing up in and around New York City, Eisenberg's own life story revolves around performing. His sister Haley made a splash in the 1990s with a series of memorable soft drink commercials.
I wouldn't want to hear one of those crazy voices of yours, huh?
Honey, you ain't heard nothing yet. Hit it, fellas.
Young Jesse soon took to the stage himself, and by his early teens, he discovered that acting was an outlet he desperately needed.
I was a very emotional kid. I had, difficulty in school. I had difficulty relating to other kids with friends. It's really impolite to cry at a basketball game. So, but it's okay to cry in Oliver because, his parents are gone. And so like when I started acting in earnest at 12 years old, I really embraced it because in a safe and contained and controlled environment, it allowed me to emote. I've never had sex.
In his first film role, 2002's Roger Dodger, Eisenberg established a persona that he has revisited many times since, a precocious young man whose intelligence gets in the way of his pursuit of a beautiful woman.
Like Charles Dickens, for example, wrote what you might call travel books, but he visited prisons and mental asylums.
There's a certain trait of some of the characters you played, was guys who are trying to lose their virginity. right?
Yeah, I suppose so. Although, in my defense, it seems like 90% of movies that come out feature that same plight.
2 other films he released last year further broadened his range. The offbeat comedy, The Living Wake,
If I was real, I'd go to the bakery to garner some pastries for my morning meal.
and Holy Rollers,
Excuse me, are you Jewish?
based on the real-life story of an Hasidic Jewish drug dealer.
Don't worry, nothing bad is gonna happen. You're both very smart people.
1:15, take 6.
The Social Network has presumably boosted Eisenberg's box office prospects. And if his smart guy image needed any further bolstering, consider the website he's created, oneupme.com. It's an online word game that gives the public a chance to match wits with Eisenberg by trying to top the pun-filled jokes he publishes each day.
So she's like ketchup, and this is funny, receptive to double dipping.
Right, or always has a crusty residue around her mouth. Her sweetness covers a hideous chemical imbalance. Acts like a vegetable, but doctors know better.
So people just all day long just fill in the blank after
Yes.
the line of the day.
Instead of working, right.
It's no small irony that the only place to participate in this game is to have an account on Facebook.
Right there, straight ahead, Jesse!
We got the feeling Jesse Eisenberg doesn't really mind that people are paying more attention to his work. He might, though, prefer we not pay so much attention to him.
I think of myself just, as an actor who got a role in something, and, I could have just as easily gotten a role in a play in a 100-seat theater, about, coal miners, and I would also have nothing to say about that.
Because you're not a coal miner.
Ultimately not, yeah.
Or at least it's best. I didn't find it in the research anyplace.
No, right, yeah, we've been successfully hiding that.